$1 million. That's the number most people throw around for retirement without knowing where it came from or even if it's right for them. Hi friends, welcome back. I've spent 15 years in finance and consulting, advising everyone from the World Bank to private equity firms. And here's what I know. The wealthiest people don't guess their money. They use a system. So in this video, I'll show you how to calculate your personal freedom number, the point where work becomes optional. For some, that's 2 million. For others, it's as low as 600,000. We'll bust the biggest 3 myths about retirement, walk through a simple formula to get to our real number, and build a plan that actually works. To make it even easier, I've created a free quiz that gives you your personal rich score in under 2 minutes, plus a custom action plan. The link's below and it'll be waiting for you. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. The first myth is you need to be rich to retire. And that's simply not true. You just need a gap between your income and what you spend, and then you need time for that money to grow. The idea of rich is personal, which is why the FIRE movement has so many different approaches. For an example, a lean FIRE lifestyle, which requires a portfolio of around $750,000 to fund a modest annual spend of $30,000, proves you don't need millions to be financially free. And that works for some people. In contrast, someone pursuing fat FIRE might want a comfortable, high-spend lifestyle of over $100,000 per year, which would require a portfolio of about $2.5 million. That shows that the math works for any lifestyle. You just have to choose the one that's right for you. And the powerful lever in the game isn't just high income, but a high savings rate. And that's something anyone can work towards. Retirement means 65 or older. That's a relatively new idea, not a law of nature. The age of 65 was a political invention popularized by figures like Germany's Otto von Bismarck in the 1880s and formalized in the US by the Social Security Act of 1935. It was a pragmatic number for government to provide a safety net, not a financial one. But you are not a government program. You can use your own math to create a personal timeline that could be 32, 45, or even 62. Social Security will cover you. While it's a crucial part of the safety net, betting your entire freedom on it is a huge risk. The average retired worker's Social Security benefit is around $2,000 per month. Now that's just over $24,000 per year. For someone with average earnings, this is expected to replace only about $40,000 of their pre-retirement income. Financial advisors, however, recommend that you need to replace about 70 to 85% of your income to maintain your lifestyle. That means that there will be a significant gap, and you have to have a plan to cover for it. Now here's the part that no one teaches. The formula for financial freedom is based on our lifestyle, not our income. And it's simple. Your annual expenses times 25. Your freedom number. This is based on the 4% rule, the safe withdrawal rate that allows money to last for decades, around 3 decades. Your freedom number is personal and based on 3 variables. First, your spending sets the target. If you spend $50,000 a year, you would need a $1.25 million portfolio. If you spend just $30,000 a year, that number drops to $750,000. It's all about intentional choices. Next, your savings rate is your timeline. As Morgan Housel says, savings is the gap between your ego and your income. And here's an example. A 10% savings rate will take you around 51 years to retire, but a 50% savings rate will get you there in 17 years. Now, if you can hit 75% savings rate, you can walk away in as little as 7 years. Now you can see how the timeline collapses once you start saving more than half of your income. But let's be real, saving 50% or even 75% of your income is incredibly hard and can feel unsustainable for most people. Now, for some of you who can't do it, more power to you. On my side, saving this amount is incredibly hard. So that's why the most powerful lever of all, I believe, isn't just cutting, it's income. There's only so much you can cut from your budget, but there's no limit to what you can earn. The real secret is early retirement is not just about being a frugal saver, but becoming a powerful earner. When you focus on increasing your income, you widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend, which makes your savings rate climb more easily. Now look, this might seem like a lot, and that's why I've set aside a limited number of spots for free one-on-one clarity calls. This isn't for everyone. It's only for those who are very serious about transforming their financial future. During our call, we'll identify specific obstacles, create a custom roadmap for a situation, and give more actionable steps so we can implement immediately. Click in the link in the description box below to secure your spot. Now that we know the 3 numbers that matter, let's talk about the 5 financial levers that we can pull to design our plan. Think of these as the dials on our financial dashboard, starting with one that gives us the most power. First is income. The real secret to accelerating our timeline isn't just being a frugal saver, but becoming a powerful earner. When we focus on increasing our income, we widen the gap between what we earn and what we spend, which makes our savings rate climb faster. So how do we do it? We can start with these immediate actions. First, to negotiate a raise. Don't wait for our boss to offer. Do our research. Sites like Glassdoor and PayScale report that the average American under-negotiates their salary by as much as $10,000 to $20,000 a year. Build a case based on the value we've created, not just on how long we've worked. Second is to monetize our skills. Turn a hobby into a side hustle. The gig economy is projected to grow to over $400 billion by 2026. This not only increases our income, but also gives us a safety net with new skills. Ultimately, income is a reflection of the value we provide. So focus on becoming indispensable by solving problems and acquiring skills that are hard to automate. And here's how to get an edge in the age of AI. While AI is a massive opportunity, it's a tool to be leveraged, not a threat to be feared. According to a 2025 report from the World Economic Forum, 65% of children entering primary school will end up in jobs that don't exist today. And those jobs will be deeply integrated with AI. So how do we adapt? First, to increase our AI skills, become digitally literate. This isn't becoming a data scientist. It's about integrating AI into our workflow to become more efficient. So for example, a marketing manager can use ChatGPT or other LLM models to draft a campaign brief in minutes, freeing up time for more high-level strategy works and client relationships. The second is to embrace the creative space. I believe that AI can handle many repetitive tasks, which frees up time and budget for creativity, critical thinking, sense-making, innovation. So a graphic designer can use AI to help it create images or concepts quickly, allowing them to spend more time on high artistic direction and collaborating with clients to bring in more unique vision to life, which is where I think the real value is. It's the final packaging of everything. Last but not least is to become an independent, a master of sense making and judgment. In a world where AI can basically produce endless content, human judgment and critical thinking will become the most valuable skills. For an example, a financial advisor can use an AI to analyze a portfolio in seconds, but the AI can't build the trust or provide the empathy needed to guide a client through a market downturn. And that's where our unique human skills become more priceless. So here's a rule of thumb. Every time our income goes up, save at least the first 50% of that raise. Let that growth fuel our freedom, not our spend. Second is spending. This is the most important dial because our annual spend is the foundation of our entire plan. It determines our freedom number. So by being intentional with where our money goes, we can choose the lifestyle that our free number will support. Think of this as the master dial. Third is savings. Our savings rate is what determines our timeline to freedom. This is the gap between what we earn and what we spend. By controlling our income and our spend, we can accelerate our savings rate and get to the goal faster. This is our wealth multiplier. By consistently investing in low-cost, diversified funds like the S&P 500 index, we can make our money work for us. For an example, consistently investing just $300 a month could grow to over $1 million in over 40 years. This passive growth is the holy grail. It's money that works for you, so you don't have to trade your time for it. Last but not least, taxes. You want to know taxes very well because this is the hidden leak. As your income and wealth grow, so does the opportunity of strategic tax planning. It's not about avoiding taxes illegally, but about understanding the rules and using all the legal tools available to you. Things like the 401k, Roth IRA. Keep more of what you earn and what investments generate for you. Ultimately, these 5 levers are tools that help you build your freedom number, but the numbers are just the feel for your journey. The vision is the destination. So take a moment and ask yourself, if money were not a concern, what would you spend your time doing? Who would you want to spend it with? Let's not just build wealth. Let's build wealth to finance that vision. Friends, if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Now, if you're interested, you can check out my next video here. See you in the next one.